We spend more time with our coworkers than we do with our own families. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, sometimes more. We eat lunch together, share office space, learn personal details about each other's lives. We think we know them, but what if we don't? What if the person sitting at the desk next to you is hiding something? What if behind their friendly smile and casual small talk, there's something dark, something dangerous, something that's been watching you, waiting for the right moment? Most workplace horror stories are about bad bosses or toxic environments. But tonight, I have 3 true stories that are much worse. Stories about coworkers who weren't what they seemed. People who crossed lines that should never be crossed. Encounters that turned ordinary workdays into nightmares. Because sometimes the person you say good morning to every day is the last person you should trust. This is Last Night FM. Amanda Chen became a registered nurse after 4 years of challenging study and clinical rotations. When she accepted a position at Portland General Hospital in June 2018, she was excited to start her career. The hospital needed night shift nurses, and Amanda didn't mind. The pay differential was better, and she'd always been a night owl. Her first week on the floor, Amanda was paired with Derek, a nurse who'd been working at the hospital for 2 years. He was friendly and professional. He showed her where supplies were kept, explained the electronic medical record system, and introduced her to the other night shift staff. Amanda felt fortunate to have such a helpful partner. But by the second week, something felt off. Amanda would look up from a patient's chart and catch Derek staring at her. When she'd make eye contact, he'd quickly look away. During their lunch break, she noticed him sitting where he could watch her eat. When she walked to the parking lot after her shift, she'd see him standing by the window, looking down at her. Amanda told herself she was being paranoid. Derek hadn't done anything inappropriate. He hadn't said anything creepy. Maybe he was just socially awkward. Maybe she was reading too much into innocent behavior. Then came the incident that changed everything. Amanda was updating a patient's medication list on the computer when Derek set his phone down next to her. The screen was unlocked, and Amanda glanced at it without thinking. What she saw made her blood run cold. The screen showed a photo of herself. She was sitting in the break room eating lunch. The angle suggested it had been taken secretly from across the room. Amanda's hands started shaking. She picked up Derek's phone before he could stop her and started scrolling through his photo gallery. There were dozens of photos of her. Pictures from every angle at the hospital. Amanda at the nurse's station. Amanda checking patient vitals. Amanda in the parking lot walking to her car. Some photos were zoomed in on her face. Some focused on other parts of her body. But the photos that made Amanda feel physically sick were the ones taken outside the hospital. Photos of her at the grocery store. Photos of her at the gym. And worst of all, photos taken through the windows of her apartment. Amanda in her living room. Amanda in her kitchen. Photos taken from outside her home, in the dark, by someone standing on her property. Derek tried to grab his phone back, but Amanda held it away from him. "What is this?" she demanded, her voice shaking. "Why do you have these photos of me?" Derek's friendly demeanor evaporated. His face went blank. "You should feel flattered," he said quietly. "Do you know how special you are? I've been admiring you for so long." Amanda reported the incident immediately. Hospital security detained Derek while they investigated. What they found in his locker was even more disturbing. 3 binders full of printed photographs of Amanda. Hundreds of them. The earliest photos dated back 8 months. Long before Amanda had even applied for the job at this hospital. Derek had been following her for months. He'd somehow learned where she lived, where she shopped, where she worked out. He'd photographed her through her windows at night. He'd learned her schedule, her habits, her routines. And then he'd specifically requested to work night shift and had asked to be partnered with Amanda when she was hired. The security investigation revealed something even more chilling. Derek had applied for jobs at 2 other hospitals where Amanda had interviewed. He'd been trying to engineer a situation where he'd end up working with her, no matter where she got hired. Derek was arrested and charged with stalking. A restraining order was issued. Amanda learned that Derek had done this before with another nurse at a previous hospital. That woman had quit her job and moved to another state to get away from him. Amanda quit the night shift. She couldn't work those hours anymore. Couldn't walk through those hallways without remembering how Derek had watched her. She moved to a new apartment and changed her routines completely. She still works as a nurse, but she's never felt completely safe again. Marcus Thompson had worked in software development for nearly a decade when he joined a mid-sized tech company in Austin, Texas. The work environment was casual and collaborative. Marcus got along well with his team and enjoyed the creative problem-solving aspects of his job. In November 2019, the company hired a new developer named Lisa. She joined Marcus's team and seemed competent and professional. During her first week, Marcus helped her get oriented, answering questions about the codebase and introducing her to the team's workflow. Lisa was friendly and asked Marcus about his interests. He mentioned he liked hiking and craft beer. The next week, Lisa mentioned she'd just started getting into hiking too. Marcus thought it was a nice coincidence, but the coincidences kept multiplying. Marcus brought his new laptop to work, a specific model he'd researched extensively. 2 days later, Lisa showed up with the exact same laptop. Same model, same color, same specs. Marcus always ordered the same thing for lunch: a chicken Caesar wrap from the deli next door. Within a week, Lisa was ordering the same thing. Every single day, Marcus wore a lot of blue shirts. He just liked the color. Lisa started wearing blue. When Marcus switched to wearing more gray, Lisa's wardrobe changed to match. The team thought it was funny at first. They joked about Lisa being Marcus's twin. But Marcus was starting to feel uncomfortable. The mimicry felt deliberate and excessive. Then the coincidental encounters started. Marcus went to his gym one evening and saw Lisa on a treadmill. She acted surprised to see him, said she just joined this gym. The gym was 15 miles from the office, in a different neighborhood entirely. Marcus started noticing Lisa at his grocery store, at his favorite coffee shop, at the bookstore he browsed on weekends. Every time, she acted surprised, said it was such a funny coincidence. Marcus started dating a woman named Rachel. He didn't mention it at work because he preferred to keep his personal life private. But somehow Lisa found out. She became cold and distant, shooting angry looks at Marcus across the office. One evening, Marcus was walking to his car in the parking garage when Lisa appeared. She was crying, makeup running down her face. She grabbed his arm and said, "How could you do this to me? How could you start seeing someone else? We have something special, Marcus." "You know we do." Marcus was stunned. "Lisa, we're just coworkers. We've never even hung out outside of work." "That's not true," Lisa shouted. "We have lunch together. We talk every day. I know everything about you. We're meant to be together. I changed everything about myself for you. Everything. And now you're throwing it all away for some random woman." Marcus carefully extracted his arm from her grip. "Lisa, I think you've misunderstood our relationship. We're colleagues. That's all we've ever been." Lisa's expression changed from heartbreak to rage. "You led me on," she hissed. "You smiled at me. You helped me. You made me think we had a connection." Marcus reported the incident to HR the next morning. The company launched an investigation. What they discovered was deeply disturbing. Lisa had been monitoring Marcus's social media obsessively. She'd found his girlfriend's profiles and had been sending Rachel threatening messages from anonymous accounts. Lisa had also been tracking Marcus's location. She'd somehow installed tracking software on his phone during one of their work interactions. That's how she'd known where to coincidentally show up. The company terminated Lisa's employment. Marcus got a restraining order. He changed his phone, updated all his passwords, and locked down his social media. But the experience left him paranoid and anxious. He'd spent months working next to someone who had built an entire fantasy relationship in her mind, someone who had decided they were meant to be together without his knowledge or consent. Marcus still works in tech, but he's much more guarded now. He doesn't share personal information with coworkers. He doesn't help new employees as much as he used to. The experience with Lisa changed how he interacts with everyone at work, because he learned that basic kindness and professional courtesy can be misinterpreted as romantic interest by someone who desperately wants it to be. Jennifer Martinez had worked at Southwest Insurance Group in Phoenix for 5 years. It was a stable, boring job processing claims. Her coworkers were friendly, and the work environment was predictable. One of her colleagues was a quiet man named Paul who worked in data entry. Paul had been with the company for 3 years. He was in his late 30s, soft-spoken, and kept to himself. He'd eat lunch alone in his car most days. Jennifer would occasionally chat with him in the break room. He seemed nice enough, maybe a little awkward but harmless. Paul would sometimes ask Jennifer about her weekend plans. Normal small talk. She'd mention taking her kids to soccer or going to a birthday party. Paul would nod and smile. He seemed interested but not inappropriately so. In March 2020, Paul didn't show up for work on a Monday morning. This was unusual because Paul was reliable, never missing a day. By Tuesday, people were wondering if he was sick. By Wednesday, the police showed up. 2 detectives asked to speak with the office manager. Then they asked to speak with Jennifer. She was confused and nervous as she sat in the conference room with the detectives. "Do you know Paul Henderson?" one detective asked. "Yes, he works here. Is he okay?" "His name isn't actually Paul Henderson," the detective said. "His real name is Paul Garrett. He's wanted in Colorado for violation of a restraining order. He's also wanted in New Mexico for stalking and criminal trespassing." Jennifer felt dizzy. The friendly, quiet coworker she'd known for 3 years wasn't who he claimed to be. "We arrested him last night," the detective continued. "When we searched his apartment, we found something concerning. Do you know why Paul might have photographs of you and your family?" The room seemed to tilt. "What?" The detective showed her photos on a tablet. Pictures of the wall in Paul's apartment. One entire wall was dedicated to Jennifer. Photos of her leaving work. Photos of her car. Photos of her house. Photos of her children at their school. And next to the photos were detailed notes. Jennifer's schedule. Her routines. Where she shopped. What time she dropped her kids off. What time she picked them up. Her home address. Her license plate number. Her children's names and ages. "We believe Paul has been planning something," the detective said carefully. "We're not entirely sure what yet, but given his history and what we found in his apartment, we think you were at significant risk." Jennifer started crying. She'd worked next to this man for 3 years. She'd smiled at him, chatted with him, treated him like a normal coworker. And the entire time he'd been watching her, studying her, learning everything about her life, photographing her children. The detectives explained that Paul's real identity revealed a pattern. He'd done this before in 2 other states. He'd gotten jobs at companies where his targets worked. He'd spent months gathering information, building profiles. In Colorado, he'd eventually broken into a woman's home. In New Mexico, he'd attempted to abduct a woman from a parking lot. "We don't know what Paul's endgame was with you," the detective said, "but based on his history, we believe you were in serious danger. You're very lucky we found him when we did." Paul was extradited to Colorado to face the outstanding warrants there. The company hired security to escort Jennifer to her car for weeks afterward. She moved to a new house, changed her children's schools, looked over her shoulder constantly. Jennifer quit her job 3 months later. She couldn't walk into that building anymore without thinking about Paul sitting at his desk 20 feet away, hiding behind a fake name, secretly documenting her every move. The scariest part? Jennifer never suspected a thing. Paul had been perfectly normal, perfectly forgettable. If the police in Colorado hadn't been investigating him for something else, if they hadn't tracked him to Phoenix, if they hadn't arrested him when they did, Jennifer might have become another victim in Paul's pattern of obsession and violence. She thinks about that sometimes, about how close she came to something terrible, about how the person you least suspect might be the most dangerous one. 3 stories, 3 coworkers, 3 people hiding behind normal faces. Amanda Chen, whose night shift partner had been stalking her for months, breaking into her privacy in ways she never imagined. Marcus Thompson, who discovered a colleague had built an entire fantasy relationship with him without his knowledge or consent. And Jennifer Martinez, who worked beside someone for 3 years, never knowing he was watching her, studying her, planning something terrible. These stories remind us that we never truly know the people we work with. We see the version they want us to see, the mask they wear from 9 to 5. But what happens when that mask slips? What happens when their obsession can't be hidden anymore? Stay alert. Trust your instincts. And if someone at work makes you uncomfortable, don't ignore it, because sometimes that feeling is the only warning you'll get. This has been Last Night FM. And remember, the person in the cubicle next to you might be closer than you think.